Today in Grow a Garden in Roblox, we are between updates, and as such, it's the perfect time to make a video to help new players. So today, I have 20 pets in alphabetical order that new players should totally hold on to and keep an eye open for because they're very useful. If this video sounds useful to you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, become part of the first 200k OGs, and let's get into the video. In alphabetical order, the first pet you want to keep your eye open for is the blood hedgehog. This is the blood hedgehog and his younger brother, the regular hedgehog, each have a unique effect. And what they do is they make any prickly fruit grow bigger. This can be really useful if you're trying to grow really big fruits to make a lot of money in this game, and will also be useful for any upcoming prickly fruits releasing in the future. So if you grab yourself a blood hedgehog or a regular hedgehog, which is just a weaker version of the blood hedgehog, keep an eye on it. After that, we have the blood kiwi, which looks like this little guy right here, and he increases the hatch speed of eggs by 20% each, as well as reducing the cooldown by eggs every minute or so. In this game of Grow a Garden, you get pets from eggs, and eggs can take hours to hatch, but with blood kiwis, they hatch much faster. Also, this list does not have any divine pets on it. If you happen to have a divine pet, just keep it. They're pretty much all useful, and you can tell it's a divine pet because it will say divine right here at the top. Next up, we have the blood owl or the night owl or the regular owl. These owls are super useful pets. Each owl will grant bonus experience to every other pet that you have in the field. So owls are really useful pets for leveling up your other pets. And why do you want to level up your pets? Well, there's actually multiple reasons. The first reason is to max out these slots, putting down bonus eggs, putting down bonus pets, or having more pets in your inventory. And you do this by filling in these slots. You need an age 20 pet for the first slot, an age 30 pet for the second, an age 45 for the third, an age 60 for the fourth, and for the final rank, you need an age 75 pet. And once you've maxed all these out, you can do other things. For example, shoving age 50 pets into the pet mutation machine to hopefully get rare and useful mutations, which are basically Rainbow is a really desirable mutation, as well as Ascendant is also a desirable mutation. Now, the next pet is a butterfly, which is a mythical pet, though it's basically a divine pet in worth. This is what the butterfly looks like, and every 30 minutes, he will fly to a fruit with 5 mutations on it, remove them all, and give it Rainbow. Now, you may be afraid of losing the mutations you had on your fruit, but Rainbow is so important because it multiplies all the other mutations by 50 times. And then once Rainbow's on the fruit, you can just get those mutations back on it again. Next up is the chicken zombie, and yes, it is inspired by the Minecraft movie. And the chicken zombie does increase egg hatch speed, but also puts the zombified mutation on plants. This little guy is a very popular pet, even though he's only a mythical, and if you manage to find one or acquire one, definitely keep it. Now we have a very interesting pet that is really useful the more of them you have, and that is the capybara. The capybara is this little pig looking guy, and his effect is all pets nearby at 15 studs don't lose hunger and gain experience every second. The capybara is a very useful pet, but it's really useful the more of them you have on the field. If you only have a couple of pet slots, you might be better off with an owl. But if you can get upwards of 6, 7, or the maximum of 8 pet slots, capybaras on the field will level up each other very, very quickly, and then eventually level up other pets. Now we're going to take a look at the echo frog. The echo frog is this adorable little blue guy, and he, every 5 minutes, will croak and make a random nearby plant advance in growth by 24 hours. The echo frog is really useful for leveling up trees and getting trees to their maximum size very, very quickly, because some trees can take a long time to grow. Now, here's a really useful pet that is only really useful the more you have, much like the capybara, and that is the koi fish. The koi fish, who comes in multiple different colors, has a unique effect where eggs have roughly 3% chance to leave an egg on the ground when you hatch them. With 8 koi fish on the field, whenever I go and hatch 8 eggs, sometimes there's 2 eggs, sometimes there's 3 eggs left on the field. One time I had 5 eggs left on the field. Koi are very useful, but they're only really useful if you have a lot of them. Now we have a mythical pet that is very desirable by a lot of people, and that is the mimic octopus. The mimic octopus is a mythical pet who has the following effect. Every 20 minutes, copies an ability from another pet on the field. Obviously, it is better to have a pet that has a 15-minute cooldown and just have a bunch of those with no mimics, because the mimic's cooldown is 20 minutes. However, you can't always have a bunch of the pet you need. So the mimic is a really good stopgap to fill in the gaps if you want to have multiples of the same pets on the field. Now we have an odd pet, but really useful, and it's the mole or the pancake mole, because they're basically the same thing. This is the mole, And every 80 seconds, he digs down and finds a treasure. He can dig up gear or shekels. Moles can dig up really useful things, including some of the rarest sprinklers in the game. So getting access to sprinklers for free is a really cool ability from the mole. Now we have a very important pet, and you definitely want to pay attention to this one. We're going to talk about the moon cat. This is the moon cat. He's an adorable purple cat, and his ability comes into two parts. The first part, every minute or so, he will lie on the ground and nap for 20 seconds, and fruit nearby will be 1.5 times larger. If you have multiple moon cats and they all fall asleep in the same area, their areas of effect will overlap, increasing fruit size above and beyond 1.5 as they all stack together. Moon cats are great for growing huge plants. And by huge plants, I mean huge fruits. Now, its second effect may have been nerfed recently. 6% chance for night-type fruits to stay after harvesting. This applies to things like moon melons, etc., though people are reporting that they no longer stack. Regardless, its growth effect is very, very important, so if you ever get any moon cats, hold on to them. Next, we have a useful pet called the moth. This is what a moth looks like, and its ability is quite useful. Every 13 minutes, it restores 100% hunger of a random pet by singing to it. With a single moth on the field, that little bug can keep all 7 other pets on your field completely fed and completely happy, making it so you only have to feed one pet, the moth. It's very useful. Now we're going to talk about the ostrich, and this is another pet where you need 8 ostriches or more who are very old to be really the best. The ostrich looks pretty much what you'd expect in the ability. Grants pets hatched from eggs an age bonus. At low levels, a small ostrich might give you an age bonus of 1 to 4 or 1 to 5. However, at maximum level, maximum age or near maximum age, and lots of weight, an ostrich can boost the age of a pet coming out of the egg from between 1 and 10. So if you have 8 ostriches of sufficient weight and age, and you max them out, your pet could hatch out of the egg between the ages of 1 and 80, which means if it's over 50, it can go straight into the mutation machine from hatching. So ostriches are useful, but they're useful so long as you age them up and you have many of them. Now we're going to talk about the red giant ant, which is a pet people often look over. The red giant ant is an ant you can acquire right now from eggs, and it has a 5% chance to harvest croups to duplicate them. And it has an even more chance at 5% to do the same thing for fruit-type crops. That was a mouthful to say, but long story short, with a red ant out, if you're harvesting a fruit-type crop, you can have upwards of a 10% chance to have 2 fruit-type crops, though this decreases with rarity of the fruit. Having an army of red giant ants during events where harvesting is plentiful in the event, such as the summer event we once had, makes the red giant ant very useful for those types of things. Now we're going to talk about the seal, and the seal kind of goes hand in hand with either the ostrich or especially the koi. If getting as many eggs as possible is your jam, you'll want to grab some seals. Their effect is really cool. When you sell a pet, it has a % chance to get the pet back as an egg in your inventory. Many people will use either the koi to plant eggs back on the ground when you hatch them, or the ostrich to hatch older pets, and then when they go to sell the extra pets, they'll equip seals to potentially get even more eggs back when they sell pets. But again, much like the koi and much like the ostrich, the more seals you have in the field, the better this effect. Which reminds me of another pet, and it's the next pet. That's the Shiba Inu, one of my favorites. The Shiba Inu is an uncommon pet from the Zen egg, and every minute has a 15% chance to dig up a random seed from the seed shop. I have had a team of 8 Shiba Inus overnight dig me up 2 prismatic seeds from the seed shop. So Shiba Inus are great if you're hunting for seeds. Now, another pet that is even more useful the more of them you have, to the point of being, you know what, I'll explain in a second. It's the squirrel. The squirrel has a fantastic effect if you're the kind of player like I am. It grants a small chance to not consume your reclaimer when you use it. The reclaimer is an object you craft over here at the crafting table. And this is the recipe right here. Reclaims plants, turning them back into seeds. It only makes a common egg and a harvesting tool. Really easy to do. Now, why would you want to pick your plant back up? Well, maybe you want to be able to put it back into a seed for who knows what reason. But if you're like me, you want to pick up and put down and pick up and put down seeds endlessly for forever, for the very tiny % chance that when you plant a seed, it transforms into a huge version of the tree as opposed to a regular version. Squirrels help you with that. When a squirrel reaches sufficient age, that % chance can go over 13%. And 13% times 8 squirrels is basically infinite reclaimers. So squirrels, when you have a lot of them, are very useful. Next up, we have the lowly starfish. The starfish is a common pet from the common summer sea egg, and his effect is as follows. Your star gains additional XP per second. The simple starfish is one of the fastest methods to level up pets to level 50, 60, 75, etc. So if you want to be able to max out all of these slots, like I have, you get 5 out of 5 in each of them, you can use starfish to level up quickly, to shove to the old man here so that you can max out your pet inventory, your pets on your field, and your eggs on your field. The next one is really cool, and he is the toucan. The toucan found in the rare summer egg has a useful effect. It grants all tropical plants within 25 studs a size bonus and a variant chance bonus. The variant chance bonus means it has a chance of becoming a gold fruit or a rainbow fruit when it mutates or when it actually first grows. More importantly is the size bonus. If you're trying to make big tropical fruits, you want to use as many toucans as you can. Then we have the triceratops. The triceratops is much like the echo frog. Every 3 minutes, it rams into random plants and advances their growth by 33 minutes. And if you only have one plant on the field, it'll just ram it 3 times. These are useful for growing fruit instantly instead of waiting for fruit to grow. Those are my 20 pets for new players, and those are 20 pets that new players should keep an eye open for in case you want to get better at the game of Grow a Garden. What did you think of the list? Should anything be added? Should anything be taken away? If this video was useful to you, go ahead and hit subscribe as a thank you. Become part of the first 200k OGs. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.